to the Dream 100 Show, the epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tasner.
Hey there, and welcome to this week's episode of the Dream 100 Show. Today, I want to talk about this concept of free. So in the past, we've talked about the law of reciprocity. And one of the strategies behind the Dream 100 is to actually have the law of reciprocity start to kind of weigh on the person on the other side. Now, we do it a little bit covertly, but with deploying gifting, for example, with inviting someone to join your podcast, with blasting it out to your email list, with doing ad spend and actually promoting things, giving them clips of just themselves from the podcast, and then following that up with a gift, and then a couple months later, another gift. The law of reciprocity starts to hold true. Now, that doesn't always hold true with everyone, and some industries lend itself to this being the norm. It's just the norm of doing business in a particular industry where you're expected to offer some kind of gift. Again, very big difference between a gift and a bribe. But there's just one of those things. Like certain countries, for example, it is appropriate for you to bring a gift at certain business events. So same kind of thing here. But I wanted to talk about this notion of free, and in particular, laser in on the free aspect of you using this as a way to get your foot in the door. And I'm going to correlate it back to a situation that I'm going through as we speak so that it continues to become more and more real. So if this is your first time joining, welcome. I've talked a little bit in the past about my relationship in the esports industry and managing a very famous esports player named Peterbot. And literally, as I'm filming this, I'm in the Dallas, Texas area. And I came down because he left his organization that he was at. And there's these things called like gaming agencies, gaming orgs, and I'll do a whole nother episode on kind of that industry as a whole. But the premise with gaming agencies is they try and sign a couple of well-known players that then kind of play as a team, not necessarily in the game, but they're all kind of on a team. So when they go to big events, they have the team jersey, they have all those kind of nice things on, they're talking about their team, but really what it comes down to is they're able to have these kids or even some of them are younger adults kind of collaborate on content, collaborate on brand deals, sponsorship, so that you almost in a way kind of have them locked in. Now, some organizations are much better than others. Hence why I said I'm going to do a completely separate video. But in the interim, as we had him announce that, hey, I'm no longer with this particular organization. And we have the business email that I had him put up. And literally in the last 2 days, there's hundreds and hundreds of messages. Come join this, come join us, come join here. How much money do you want? All this kind of stuff. Now, the ones that for me that have stuck out and garnered my attention and actually gotten a reply to their emails aren't the ones that just said, hey, we'll offer you X amount of money per month, because I've been around the block long enough to know that most of these organizations don't have much capital. They run out of cash very quickly. They rely on the players that they're signing to hopefully then drive brand deals. And then it's just like a revolving door. So yes, it's nice to see emails of, hey, we'll pay you $100,000 a month or whatever. Okay, fine. I mean, they're coming from Gmail addresses, so how serious can they actually be? But the ones that stand out are ones that take a consultative approach. And the languaging sounds similar to this. I'm sure you're getting a ton of messages as we speak. And while we'd love to say that we have the biggest budget or the best gaming company, that's not fully accurate. Instead, I wanted to give you some ideas, give you some insights that hopefully will help you make this decision, should you choose to make it. And they went on to kind of give some consulting. I've had other people that have reached out and have said, can I edit some videos for you? Can I make some thumbnail graphics for YouTube? So in the Fortnite industry, there are a lot of really nice thumbnails that you want to have with videos and colorful, and they're not flat like the kind of stuff that I do, that our stuff is flat, but you get the picture. Like, it's not 3D gaming or anything like that. I mean, we're doing content around growing a business and enhancing your marketing. So not as exciting. However, the people that then have been reaching out saying, can I do this for free? Here's my portfolio to show you that I'm going to deliver a great job. They're starting to get their foot in the door. And it begs the question that, is that a potential strategy? So we'll look at a couple of different industries, and there's interesting points to this because I've seen a lot of videos that it was a really neat video. I think it was titled like doing this on spec or something. And it was basically like asking web developers to put these elaborate things together completely free, kind of like the request for quote process, but to spend like 100 hours on it. And maybe we'll pick you. And it was just kind of funny of basically what would their life look like if they went around to everyone else asking for everything for free. Like, oh, can I have this? I don't think it was spec, but there was a really interesting word. It'll probably hit me after the video. But like, they would go on like coffee shops and like, can I have this coffee on whatever? Can I have it for free, basically? But it was really, really interesting. And I'll let you know if I like the coffee. And if I like the coffee, then I'll let you know how much I'm going to pay. It was kind of crazy. But what I have liked about this notion of getting your foot in the door with something that's free, that is, if you can knock it out of the park, it's an interesting way to get your name out there. And I've had a lot of these people that have reached out, and a lot of them have just been hard pitches of, hey, I can edit video for $200 a video, for example. I can have it turned around the same day. Okay, great. But the other ones were not just, hey, let me do it for free, but let me do it for free, and here's why I want to do it for free. And they were coming out just with all of the expectations right out front. And the interesting part was that the expectations were expectations from my side of what I should be expecting out of their side. So you would think if I was saying, hey, I'm going to edit your content completely free, I would love to do some work with you in the future, but I want you to see how I can do. Okay, great. That's fine. But instead, what I thought was very interesting, a few of these people have said, here's why you want to work with me. I'm going to do 10 videos for free. If you don't like any of them, I'm going to do another one completely free of charge. And here's what you should expect. I can edit them and turn them in X amount of time. I'm going to send the files this way. Are these type of files going to work for you? I'm going to give you the files for TikTok, for Instagram, for YouTube, the different files so you can post shorts and reels and long form. And I want to do that over the first 2 weeks. And then we can see it. If you're still not convinced that I can be an asset to your team, I'm going to do another 10 videos. And quite frankly, I'll do as many videos as you want. And it's interesting because a lot of people might say, well, if you have something that's highly valuable, why would you give it away for free? Big difference here is that when you're going after Dream 100 relationships, Dream 100 accounts, Dream 100 contacts, you're going to have to do something to massively stand out from the crowd. These people are getting pitched all day, every day. I can tell you that I get pitches, and I'm continuing to refer to this. So think of this person as an influencer, just an influencer in the gaming space. I get emails all day long on behalf of him of products that, great, can we send you this product and will you hopefully endorse it? And I look at the price of some of these products, and not to sound pompous by any means, but I mean, some of these things are $50 or $100, and the sponsorship deals that we're looking at are exponentially higher. We'll just say that. I mean, not even in the ballpark. So where does this apply to you? Like, how can you take this concept? So let's go through just a couple of random industries. If you were a restaurant, I know the margins are slim, but I went to a sushi restaurant here in Dallas, and it's a grand opening, and the curiosity got the best of me. Hey, how's business and how long you been open? And I saw this grand opening sign. Well, they've been open for 4 months. To me, really isn't a grand opening, but okay. They haven't taken the sign down to me that says, yeah, things aren't great. And this was a Friday at like 6 o'clock, and it was dead in there, which is never a good sign. And we started talking, and obviously, me being me, I start spouting out ideas for marketing, like, what have you tried? And I heard the answer that I expected to hear. We haven't done a lot of marketing. And then, you know me, I had to lecture them a little bit and in a nice way. Changed it to more experience sharing rather than giving direct advice. So like in my experience, restaurants need to do X, Y, Z when they're doing a grand opening. But what if you had a restaurant and you picked a couple of companies that you know they do a ton of catering? They're always ordering food outside the office, weekly basis, even a daily basis. And if you know that they are always ordering from a particular pizza place, for example, what if you were to offer to do a couple of those events completely free of charge with zero expectation in return? And that is the key. It's the exact same thing with the Dream 100 relationships. You have to have no expectations that are conveyed awkwardly to where the other side feels like they have to do something. As you know, the law of reciprocity is working on your behalf. That meeting planner or assistant or secretary, whoever planned that particular meeting, and you gave $200 worth of free food for a 10-person meeting, for example, as long as you don't continue calling them, hey, do you have an order for us yet? Do you have an order for us yet? You could check in a week or two. How did everything go? Is there anything that we could have done differently for you? Do you have any other meetings coming up? We'd be happy to offer another meal gratis. And then you're continuing to pile on the law of reciprocity. This is why consultative selling, for example, works so well. So if you're in the service industry doing audits and giving value completely free of charge before charging for things. If you have e-commerce products, yes, you can definitely give them away to influencers and to different people, but you have to be able to go above and beyond and do something extra. That's why, like, Oprah's favorite things used to be one of my favorite things to watch around the holiday time of everyone in the audience gets XYZ product. You have to be able to make a big splash. And if you have a skincare line, for example, and your products are $50, for example, sending, a $50 product, well, that's nice. That's not going to necessarily move the needle. Offering to give away $500 or $1,000 worth of free product to the other person's audience as a gesture of good faith to help them just build some more goodwill around the holidays, that's going to get noticed. So what I want you to do is to take a look at your business model and start to see, are there any places where you could start to apply this notion of free, but free without any strings attached? What if you were in the landscaping industry? Look at some industries that you would think would never do something like this. That's the whole point. I want you doing things that other people are not willing to do. Do you know of a landscaper that would go and mow a business's lawn completely free of charge just to show how they leave the property? So if you put yourself in the shoes of the person on the other side that is making the buying decision, they're obviously going to have to be looking at price. But they're probably also like, are you going to come at certain times so you're not having loud lawnmowers outside the windows when our team is trying to work? Okay, great. That's one thing I'm sure is on their mind. How are you actually going to leave the property? Is there going to be grass all over the place? And obviously, as you deliver something free, it needs to be amazing. And then you need to continue to do that amazing service thereafter. But what different things can you do that no one else in your industry is willing to do? We give away very often completely free of charge websites that we would charge $3,000 to $5,000 for. We've given away $20,000 worth of free websites to a particular company to get our foot in the door there. And I can tell you that has paid off times probably 20. And it wasn't done in a way that I said, well, if we give you this website, I'm really hoping you do some other stuff for us. We came from a place of service. We came from a place of authenticity, wanting to help, but wanted to be completely different because we knew that no one else would do it. What can you offer product-wise, service-wise that is free of charge to continue to get your foot in the door with some of these movers and shakers, some of your Dream 100 relationships? Think about that one. Take some action in the next couple of weeks and report back. Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.